All right, here we go for the second chapter, which is RRL, Review of Related Literature. Something in life that you can never cram. Okay. As a starter, this is the longest chapter. Okay. In our format, for the Communication and Media Studies format, it's either the RRL or the chapter 5. Okay, the presentation of data that happened to be the longest. Okay. If RRL is not the longest, probably the second in line. Okay. This is a popular meme. Yeah, you cannot cram the RRL because basically that's really the call. Okay, you have to take time and invest time, energy, okay, literally sleepless nights to be able to cover all the concepts, constructs, and variables that you indicated in your statement of the problem and objectives. So everything that you have placed in your research problem and objectives, as in all the concepts, constructs, and variables, should be elaborated here in this RRL part. Okay, so it's a matter of revisiting the library, the online library in this particular setup to be able to come up with more knowledge that would support your main argument or main theorization in your chapter number 1. So the review of related literature as an activity in the research process is not only done at the later stage or the early stage of conceptualization or in the development of the research design. Okay. You do RRL before, during, and after. And even there are cases na you add last minute RRL even after the final defense. Okay. So it's a flexible chapter. It's a very flexible chapter kasi during that final defense, some of your panel members or even your advisors will come across with a certain RRL that you can incorporate in your study. Okay? So i-open nyo lang yan, RRL nyo, for the possibilities that it can be revised over and over again. Okay. Pero pag sineryoso mo talaga siya, if you will come up with a solid RRL, minsan, dito din ako tumagal during my dissertation in my RRL. I make it a point, I know the idea that among the chapters, ito yung laging dinadagdagan, binabawasan, dinadagdagan pa. Okay? So, unlimited number of pages yan, RRL na yan. Okay? Kaya, I invested my time really on doing the RRL. Making it, among the chapters in my dissertation, isa ito sa mga untouchables. Ibig sabihin, hindi nagalaw during the proposal defense, during the final defense. Kasi I know how it works. So that's why I invested many months and even a couple of years to work for my RRL. Okay, and it paid dividend in my dissertation endeavor because again, among the parts, wala masyadong natanong and na-revise in my RRL. Okay. By the way, don't forget to, in all capital letters, cite as you write. Okay. Yan ang mga lesson talaga na kailangan yung matutunan sa RRL. There are students who are actually copying an important statement from an RRL, from a book, from a journal, so on and so forth. Kasi excited siya eh. Nakakuha siya ng uy, ito eksakto, pasok to sa ating concept, pasok to sa ating variable. I might as well copy it or paste it, so on and so forth. And sometimes you forget about doing APA citation, APA, MLA, or Chicago. consult with your advisor regarding the documentation style that we use. Okay, APA is American Psychological Association. MLA is Modern Language Association. Chicago is a style. All of them, the three of them are styles in recognizing or honoring your source. So that's how we document. When you do that, if you fail to document or cite or prepare a reference entry, then that's tantamount to plagiarism. So be careful about that. Okay? There. RRL is research epiphany. Ano ba yung epiphany? When you say epiphany, ano yan eh, nung parang biblical siya, tsaka mythological siya. Mythology, tsaka Bible, ang ano yan eh, reference yan. Nung epiphany, nung parang si ano, di ba? Parang si Mary, si Mama Mary, di ba? May lumabas na ano, nagpakita sa kanya ng Panginoon. So yun ang epiphany. So pag once na magpakita sa inyo ng ano, he or she will guide you, or the God or goddesses will guide you. So that's the basic premise of it. So madaming aha moments dito sa RRL. Okay, it will make you realize a better angle or a better way to do your research. Okay? It is also essential in developing a research topic and finalizing the RPO. Okay, if you constructed already an initial RPO, then it's better to consult more RRL in order for you to refine more that particular part of your study. Keep in mind that a researcher must consult past studies to look at what has already been done about a particular subject to determine whether a research idea still has a merit. Okay, so it's for example, in research we don't do what is already achieved. Okay, sasayangin mo lang nung time mo. So for example, sa science, pain reliever. Madami na namang pain reliever na yon ngayon. So there is no point for you to conduct an experiment and to come up with another pain reliever. Unless your pain reliever has a smaller or limited side effect. Yun ang kailangan natin ngayon. Yun ang research gap nung pain reliever na may konting side effect. Kasi most of the pain relievers right now are having side effects. Okay. So kapag magre-research ka about coming up with a painkiller na same din sa nakikita sa market, there's no purpose. There's no point. Okay. Kunyari, meron na sa library ng effects of multimedia to the academic competence of engineering students in UE Manila. Okay. Kung gagamitin mo ang concept, ang variable na multimedia, tapos engineering students din, tapos taga UE din, then that's tantamount to plagiarism. Ginaya mo na siya exactly. Okay. Pero meron tayong tinatawag na replication. Yan. Replication. Consult to your advisors for more details. Pag sinabing replication, kunyari ng example ko ha. Kunyari magbigay tayo panibagong examples. Effects of groupings to the academic proficiency of broadcasting seniors in UE Manila. Kunyari, yun ang study. And that study was conducted in 2010. So parang 12 years ago. Pwede mo ba siyang gawing study ngayon na 2022? Exactly the same, ha? Exactly the same top title. Effects of effects of groupings in the academic proficiency of broadcasting seniors. But this time, 2022 na siya. Okay, that is what you call replication. Okay, nire-replicate mo siya. Para din to sa mga paintings, di ba? Kunyari, no, mga paintings ng mga renowned artists, di ba? Patay na yun eh. Kaya, i-replicate mo na lang siya. Okay? Kumbaga, sa song industry, sa music industry, i-revive. Okay? So, ganun siya. Malaki na nung, going back to my example, malaki na ang nagbago from 2010 to 2022. And magkaiba na din. Dati, traditional, face-to-face. Ngayon, online. So, pwede pa rin ba tayo mag-conduct ng same topic, okay, na study ngayon? The effects of groupings among the broadcasting seniors, academic proficiency. Yes, pwede. That's what you call replication. Kasi baka pasay na, antiquated na yung 2010 data. Kaya i-update mo na siya. So we do research also for the purpose of updating knowledge. Yan. Do you get me? That's the point of RRL. That's why you need to visit the RRL. You have to do what has not been done before. And you have to know what has been done before. Okay. So, what you know and what you do not know, tapos the research gap. Yun. Dapat may merit yung pagkakandak mo ng study na yon. Kasi kung wala, there's no point to conduct a study on that particular area. Okay. Yan. Okay. Sometimes, makakakita kayo ng RRL na sobrang dami. As in, sobrang dami, mauubos ng time nyo, kaka-document, kakasulat, so on and so forth. Is that a good sign? Is that a good sign for a study? Depende. Depende. You consult with your advisor once again. Minsan, madami nga, pero madami rin kulang. Kaya sila nag-conduct ng madaming studies about it kasi follow-up yun. Kasi very important siyang aspect ng civilization. Kaya it has to be conducted every now and then. Kaya makikita nyo, ECRRL, isang type nyo lang ng topic, ang dami na kagad na lalabas ng mga RRL. Usually, if the topic is new, then you will have a limited RRL. Okay, but it's okay kasi again, depende yan sa topic for that matter. Alright, so for your RRL answers the following questions. Okay, what type of research has been done in the area? Okay, meron na bang nag-conduct ng FGD about that? Meron na bang FI about that? Meron na bang content analysis, textual analysis, survey, and narrative about this? Yan. That will give you an idea what to conduct or how to conduct your study. Okay. Number 2, it also answers what has been done, has been found in previous studies. Okay. Ano bang kunyari, nakakita ka ng isang RRL claiming that Filipino teens are mostly into Facebook than Instagram and Twitter in terms of having a relationship with random people or with a stranger. So they make use of Instagram, Facebook, okay, in courting, so on and so forth, something like that. Number 3, what suggestions do other researchers make for further study? This is what we call the recommendation part. Okay, pag nagbasa kayo ng full-blown thesis, ng book-binded na thesis at the end of the part, before the references or bibliography, that's the part for recommendation. So kung marunong kayong magbasa ng mga thesis, doon kayo titingin. Ano bang gusto niyang i-recommend? Baka pwede ko siyang gawin. Pwedeng ako ang gumawa niyo bilang isang researcher. Look for that area. Lahat naman yon. Even journals that you can see in Google Scholar, they have recommendations for the future researchers to conduct a study on blank, blank, blank. That's what you need to cover. When they recommend that, meaning to say, that's the research gap that they have seen. That's why they are recommending, they are suggesting to you na if you will decide to study similar or a semblance to this topic, then this is the specific area or path that you need to take. Yeah. So you can learn from reading the RRL. Nung mga ibang students nga kasi kabisado nila nung nung rationale of writing research. Kapag nagsimula pa lang nung research class nila, ang gagawin na nila, punta sila sa library, basahin ng recommendation, basahin yung recommendation na part yun. Okay, ito na nung topic natin. Huwag na tayo magpakahirap. Huwag na natin pahirapan ang buhay natin. So ito, sabi dito ng isang researcher in 2021, bago pa naman yan, so baka wala pang gumagawa niyan, the future researchers should study blah blah blah. So tayo yun. Ito ang topic natin. Ito na yun. At least may guide ka na isang research. Sa isang thesis, madami ka ng RRL kasi their RRL might be your RRL too. So kaya magmumultiply talaga siya. Magmumultiply talaga siya. That's what you call RRL within the RRL. For example, you made use of De La Cruz 2021 thesis. Okay, syempre, kagaya mo, meron din siyang RRL chapter. And his or her RRL might be connected to the topic that you are working. So, hindi ka na mahihirapan masyado maghanap. Kumbaga, enough na yon. But don't copy everything. You need to use your discernment. Ano lang doon na magagamit mo sa kanya. Not literally everything that you need to copy. Okay, find some other RRL that will be that will make your thesis substantial. Question number 4, or another question that RRL answers, is what has not been investigated? Yeah. So, nung initial RRL nyo, nakakita kayo studies about Facebook, studies about Instagram, studies about TikTok, studies about Twitter. Okay, so yun. Yung mga hindi nabanggit, yun yung mga what has not been investigated. Okay? So probably, think about that. Okay, may nag-study na sa Tinder, may nag-study na sa Grindr, so on and so forth. Wala pa ako masyadong nakikita or hindi lang ako naghahanap. Dati kasi may Facebook dates ba yun? Meron pa rin ba dito? Before, may Facebook dating, tinanggal na nila. Kaya wala. Parang wala na kasi di naman siya pinansin. Especially during the pandemic, nakita ko yan sa left side ng aking Facebook window. Yan. Look for logically connected topic. Okay, that has not been investigated. Yan. Yan. Number 5, how can the proposed study add to our knowledge of the area? Keep in mind that you're doing research because your intention is to contribute an additional knowledge to the reservoir of knowledge in the field you so love and wish to excel. Okay, your thesis is your contribution to the reservoir of knowledge in the field you so love and wish to explore. Okay. Secondary na lang siguro ng motivation ng college degree. But more than that is to leave a legacy in a form of your thesis in the library, at least in your university. Yan. Number 6, what theories were used in related studies? In the next chapter, we will talk about theoretical framework or yan, theoretical framework, conceptual framework. Kung ginawa nyo, kung inayos nyo ng mabuti yung RRL nyo, you're not really going to start from the scratch. Because while reading some of your RRL, they will mention theoretical frameworks already. And those theories might be connected to the study that you are doing right now. So, wag ka nang lalayo. Yun na yun. Isa na yun sa theory na pwede mo siyang magamit. Okay? And then number 7, what research methods? Ganun din. Later on, we'll talk about methods. So, kung nahihirapan ka mag-decide this early, ano ba, magsa-survey ba ako? Mag-i-interview ba ako? Mag-a-analyze ba ako? What will I do? Consult the RRL. Okay, the RRL will provide to you an idea that I conducted I conducted FGD, I conducted survey, okay, and then so on and so forth. So probably you can also consider those methods that the other studies did, okay? Okay. Next is, what is the difference between introduction and RRL? We actually answered that during our introduction discussion. But here, for the sake of comparing and contrasting introduction and RRL, let's tackle this. Basically, intro is shorter than RRL. Kaya nga siya tinawag na intro. Okay, there's no such thing as long introduction. It might be boring to read, it might be monotonous to read. Thus, the introduction must contain all content necessary to give the background, key concepts, rationale, and problems of the study. Yan ang mga concepts nyo. Okay, if you're talking about COVID-19 pandemic, write it down in introduction. Intro lang. Okay, if you want to elaborate more about COVID-19 pandemic, save the RRL for that. If you want to talk about the perspectives of Filipino families in terms of social media and misinformation, then talk about social media, misinformation, Filipino family, in a short manner in your intro. And then, eventually, kung mayroon ka bang madaming idadagdag and the details about it, then save it for the RRL. The RRL, on the other hand, contains summaries, critiques, comparisons of related studies used to build one's own research. Okay? It's not really a copy and paste thing. As a researcher, you will summarize their summary. Okay? Sila ginawa nila yung summary. Ikaw, you will try to summarize their summary. Okay? That's how you do scholarly and academic writing. You don't just copy-paste the entire paragraph of a particular RRL and then claim it yours. Even though you are citing them in text citation or reference. Ganun pa din eh. Parang you did not pay homage or tribute to the original author. You have to do your work. So, sa RRL, dito na, you remember in some of our classes, pinapagawa ko kayo ng synthesis paper. Yan. RRL is a synthesis paper-like writing sessions. Yan. So it's a combination of summary, okay, perspectives, yan, and arguments, so on and so forth. RRL must know the following. Yan. While contents from the RRL may be found in the introduction, this must be written as succinct. Okay, maiksi lang. Succinct findings and summaries and need not provide the entire details of the studies. Okay. Kasi RRL mo lang siya. Kumbaga supporting lang siya. If you want to provide an extensive and detailed discussion about your concept, constructs, and variable, save that in chapter 5, 6, and 7. Or in some other formats, chapter 3, 4, 5. Next, the RRL must contain specific research studies as published in journals, research anthologies, monographs, theses, and dissertations. Undergraduate thesis, ang tawag dyan, thesis. Okay? Sa inyo, undergraduate thesis. Pag MA thesis. Pag PhD or doctorate, or postdoctorate, dissertation yan. So don't use dissertation in your study kasi dun kayo sa thesis. Okay? Yan siya. So yan, madami naman kayong pagkukuha na ng RRL almost every day. Except TikTok. Okay, don't refer to your advisor if TikTok is a good source for RRL. Depende sa topic at depende sa content producer. May mga content producers naman, in fairness, that are legitimate entities. Okay, but you have to look for it further. RRL must know the goal of the RRL is to present emerging themes born out of the critical evaluations and comparisons across research articles. Okay. So you are consulting RRL for second, third opinion. Parang ganon. Kunyari, you would like to know whether Facebook can be a good platform on learning more during online classes. Yan. Gusto mong malaman kung ang Facebook ay nakakatulong para malaman ng, kunyari, media studies students. Okay. Para mas gumaling pa siya sa current events and issues. Okay. Makikita mo sa RRL na different studies have their different answers. According to De La Cruz in 2020, ganyan-ganyan, Facebook is a good platform for learning current events. However, as per Santos in 2019, Facebook can disrupt learning. Ayan, so on and so forth. So ganyan, binabalanse mo siya. Ayan. That's how you do RRL. Okay, the research gap. This is the most important part in the RRL. Your RRL is not an RRL except if you have the research gap. This is the reason why you are doing an RRL. Okay, ano ba yung research gap? Kasi tatanungin kayo niyan sa your advisor, your panel member. The research gap is what is known and what is unknown. And what has been done and what has not been done. Okay. Yan. There are many types of research gaps. Okay, just take a look on this particular table for you to know what are the possible research gaps that you need to cover. Usually, if you will do sa research 1, whenever you present your proposal to your thesis professor, he or she will look for the research gap. Okay. Meaning to say, what has been done before and what has not been done yet. Okay, that's what you will cover. Okay? Kumbaga sa film industry, ano na yung napanood na at ano yung hindi pa napapanood. So you will meet halfway. Kasi hindi mo naman pwedeng ipanood mo kagad nung hindi pa napapanood ng mga moviegoers. Baka high risk yun. Okay, baka hindi pa sila ready ng mga hardcore barilan, hardcore patayan, hardcore pumping scenes. So you have to reconcile kung ano yung napanood na tsaka yung hindi pa napapanood. Meet somewhere at the middle para you will not be too controversial agad. Okay. The first example of research gap is evidence gap. Meaning to say, contradictory evidence gap. Yan. Example. This is an example of APA citation. Results from studies allow for conclusions in their own rights, but are contradictory when examined from mere abstract point of view. Yan. Next is knowledge gap. Ayan, madalas natin naririnig yan. Pag sinabi knowledge gap, desired research findings do not exist. Okay, kagaya niyang kanina, di ba? Ano kaya ang defense mechanism ng Filipino teenagers during the pandemic? Ay assume may mga nakagawa na yan, pero konti pa lang. Kasi hindi pa naman natatapos ang pandemic. So, pwede mo pa siyang gawin right now kasi may gap about that. Okay? Practical knowledge gap. Pag sinabing practical knowledge gap, action knowledge conflict gap. Okay. Most of what we do in thesis is theoretical. Pero syempre, the end product should be action. Baliwala kasi nung theory kapag walang practice. So, it's a combination of theory and practice. So, dapat, you will sell your theory, your theorization, your main argument to your readers, and at the same time, you will recommend a particular practice or concrete action, okay, to resolve the problem. Yan. Kagaya ng example kanina, problema yon kapag hindi alam ng mga Filipino teens how to cope with the COVID-19 pandemic or any other lockdown in the future. Okay. Next is methodological gap. Okay. I assume mas madaming gumawa ng mga surveys. Yan, madalas gumagawa ng surveys. Kaya pwede namang maging methodological gap na kunyari wala pang gumagawa ng focus interview, ikaw ang mauna. That itself is the focus. That itself is the research gap. You will argue, not really argue, you will discuss it with your advisor that upon checking my RRL, no literature conducted an FI about the subject matter. So that is my methodological gap that I'm trying to cover. Hindi naman lahat ito i-cover nyo ha. 1 or 2 will suffice. Okay, 1 or 2 amongst this will suffice. Empirical gap or evaluation void gap. Research findings or propositions need to be evaluated or empirically verified. Yeah. So empirical, experiential. We also have theoretical gap. They should be applied to certain research issues to generate new insights. No population gap, ito yung madalas nire-replicate sa study. Okay. For example, it is a survey in 2016. Okay, during the presidential elections in 2016. Pwede mo siyang i-replicate now kasi pwede mong gayahin nung theory niya, nung method niya. Pero syempre, iba na ngayon iba na ng population Hindi mo na pwedeng balikan ng population nung samples na kinuha nila. Kunyari, Filipino teens that time, hindi na sila teens this time around. So, yan. Kunyari, nag-focus lang sila nung 2016 survey study na yun, nag-focus lang sila sa Metro Manila. So, syempre, hindi mo na siya mahanap. So, ito na yung population gap. When you do population gap, you update the knowledge. Okay? Kasi pwede mong i-argue sa panel members mo na, Sir, ma'am, we patterned or we were guided by this 2016 survey in Metro Manila, okay? And we wish to do the same research angle, but this time around, in the context of 2022 May elections. So, allowed yun. Pwede siya. So, yan yung population gap. Sabihin mo, wala pa kasing nagkakandak ng study about May 2022 elections. Kasi, bago pa lang yan. Or kung meron man, konti. So, population gap pa rin siya. So, syempre, yung survey na yon hindi naman niya pwedeng i-cover ng buong Philippines. Okay, and even SWS and AGB Nielsen don't do that. Kasi nga, it's a meticulous research. Okay, kaya Kaya usually, naka-locate lang sa isang sample. So a cautionary word, identifying literature for your research project is not finding and copying information from personal websites, Wikipedia, especially Wikipedia. Okay, Wikipedia can be editable. It's editable by anyone. If I were you, more than Wikipedia, locate the source below, right? Then click on the source and look for its legitimate book or ebook for that matter, but not really the Wikipedia idea. Wikipedia is a quick identifying knowledge. But then again, it has a question of curator. Sino nagko-curate ng Wikipedia? Anyone can edit that. Blogs then, okay, look for a blogger who has the expertise. Okay, not just any blogger who has the intention to monetize. Okay, or any other of the thousands of non-academic websites that exist in the internet, on the internet. Okay, hindi kayo mauubusan ng RRL, especially now, because of the internet era. Okay. To search using keywords, identify the most important term that are used to talk about your topic. So for example, colonialism, motivation, these are concepts. These are constructs. These are variables. Together with the words that are important to describe a particular aspect. Whenever you Google on a possible RRL, don't copy paste the entire title. Okay? Just key in the keywords. Okay, and then yeah, if you have your questions, and these are the references. So RRL, we can never cram the RRL. So spend time, work on that. Usually that's the first step. Read first before you come up with your topics.